Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV. All right, so now we've got the man of the hour. We got Zaylin. Now, Zaylin, he's impressive. He's impressed me. I met him through ICABA. He was being honored amongst a lot of other men of distinction. And I had to look into his background a little bit more to see what he was doing with Bravo Theater, Disguising the Art. You know, he's graduated from FAMU. He's a rattler. He's a young man with a vision. He's got a lot of passion. He's got a lot of energy. So I said, man, I got to know this guy. So we're going to unpack a little bit of the Zaylin Yates story. So Zaylin, you like to introduce yourself?
Listen, Grant, I just appreciate you hyping me up, sir. I am just so thankful and honored for being here. Yes, I am Zaylin Yates, born and raised in California, Palmdale, California, and graduated from Florida A&M University, where I double majored in business and theater. And taking what I learned from there and my passion for the arts, I relocated down here to South Florida, where I was originally working with Publix full-time in their legal department, and still acting and directing on the side. And my brain was like, you know what, you can't turn on and off. You gotta pick one. So I decided to go full-fledged and start my theater company, Bravo Theater. And I want to say a couple of months after that, that's when I had the opportunity to go and start working at the Adrian Arch Center in their programming department. So just all divine intervention. And I feel like once you start walking in your calling and your power and your passion, opportunities just start falling from the sky. Blessings.
Oh, big time blessings. First of all, I'm glad you're down here in South Florida. So I know you were FAMU, that's in Tallahassee.
Yes, sir.
Now, when did you start really thinking that theater was a path forward for you?
You know, Grant, I'm gonna be completely honest. It started in kindergarten. In my first show, I was a butterfly in Sleeping Beauty, and just I was on stage for like maybe 20 seconds, and of those 20 seconds, I was like, "Yep, this is what I got to do full time. This is my passion, and I only got into the arts, stumbled upon it because my cousin was in the arts at my middle school or my elementary school at the time. It went from kindergarten to eighth grade, and I just kind of wanted to be around her. So she was on the performing arts track, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna join that too, just to see what happens. And the love for theater just grew from there. And then in sixth grade is when I like ultimately made the decision that I was going to own a dinner theater one day. Like I just knew that dinner theaters was the new groundbreaking thing, and I was going to change the world with it. And then of course I got into junior high and I learned that they already exist. So I had to shift that mindset a little bit. So it started early on, definitely.
I tell you, I remember going to a dinner theater. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska originally, right?
Okay.
And when I met my wife, I remember when she turned 21, went to a this was on a train. It was on a train and had a murder mystery on the train.
Oh yes. Okay.
It was so they did like a play on the train while you had dinner, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. And I still remember it to this day. I mean, I can know what the play was about, what was happening, and they had to find the villain. It was a kind of a whodunit type of thing. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I want to say that Medieval Times was my first true experience of a dinner theater. I know they have one, I believe still in, I think, Orlando. But I saw it in California, and just seeing those knights and horses like jousting and fighting, and then I'm just sitting there eating. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Why don't more of these exist?
that's the thing. Until you've experienced it, we think of cinema, especially in these days, you think of just the two-dimensional watching something on a screen, but actually
Right.
being there, present, and watching a play unfold in front of you is magical.
Hmm.
And I think any artist would tell you, and I'm sure you would say the same. Every time you do the production, it's different. It's
Yeah.
just something happens that's different. So as you think about where you're at now and where your career is, do you wish you had known something now that you didn't know back then? How would you frame that?
That is a great question, Grant. I would definitely frame it as, so what I wish I would have known. What I wish I would have known is that I wish I would have known that the community, or I would say the individuals who are prominent in theater, is so important to like get to know them and to network before just jumping face first into theater. And that was so important and instrumental, I think, coming from college, going into the real world. Because at the end of the day, yes, you're talented. Yes, you have all these thoughts and ideas and you're creative, but you have to build relationships, and the relationships are so much more important than the actual audition itself. Sad to say,
Sure,
because people
sure.
want to work with people that they like working with, especially in the arts, because you are around these individuals all day, all night, 7 days a week sometimes. Like if you do not like being around them, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. And so even though I felt like I was talented, even though I felt like, I knew what I was doing, I would have focused more on those relationships and networking much earlier than when I then just jumping out into the real world and really learning that I needed to network instead of just going to from audition to audition.
Well, I tell you, you've done a great job networking. I met you through networking at the Akaba event that I talked about a little bit earlier, which you got an award. Then I saw you on television just recently on NBC doing an interview with Jawan Strader. So you're getting the word out. People are starting to tune in to what you're doing. How did this happen?
Again, I think that for me personally, it was divine intervention because I made the commitment to myself that I had a vision, that I had a mission, and that I had goals that I wanted to achieve. And I feel as though I was just blessed enough to meet people and connect with people who believed in my mission and vision, who decided to give me a platform to make sure that my voice was also heard and that I could reach more individuals or reach the community like I've been trying to do. So I also definitely don't want to take full credit for it because our PR specialist, Marcia Gomez from Blank Canvas Communications, also definitely helps us out. So I'm pretty sure she would be upset with me if I did not let that.
You never get there by yourself. You never get there by yourself. And that's why branding is important. Marketing is important. And so when I think of Bravo Theater, and I saw the interview, and I said, wow, this is great. But how are you defining your brand? If somebody says the Bravo Theater, Zaylin Yates brand, how would you define that?
Greetings and humble salutations. I am Zaylin Yates, and I am so excited to announce the official unveiling of Bravo Theater. Now, here at Bravo, we pride ourselves on cultivating an artistically conscious community through innovative and accessible performances that celebrate not only humanity, but the power of storytelling. So I just want to invite you all to visit our website to learn a little bit more about the company, as well as follow us on all of our social media platforms, because I promise you do not want to miss any of the exciting information that we had to share with you regarding upcoming productions and virtual content. So thank you all so much for supporting Bravo, and we'll see you soon. So I would define that very simple as we are a company who loves people, who loves the community, and that has a passion for storytelling, and also making sure that when we are inviting those people into our processes, that we are empowering them to also genuinely tell their stories and genuinely find their truth. And so what I found through my time of auditioning or bringing in people and working with these different artists, the directing was kind of the vacation, honestly. More so the audition and the process is the hard part, because that's where you're really getting to know these individuals. That's where they're getting to know you, trying to figure out if they can even trust you to take them through this journey in the play or in the process. And so I always felt like I needed to put emphasis on the process, because if I genuinely love on these individuals and I genuinely pull out their talents and their passion, and they get connected with the text, then presenting the character on stage is a piece of cake, because we've already done the hard work.
Yeah.
And so the final product, I'll say, that the audience gets to see is just a labor of love. It is a piece of, I would say, teamwork, and it is a collaborative environment that you are ultimately seeing on stage. It's not just my vision. It's not just the costumer's vision. It's not just the lighting designer. It's everyone coming together and deciding that we are going to genuinely tell this story and bring this quality product to you all, and hopefully invite you all into our process and into our stories, so that you feel either changed or it will evoke some type of conversation after it.
No, you've evoked a lot of conversation, I'll tell you. But I want to understand one more thing about yourself, is that are you the producer? Are you the director? Are you many hats? Define your role for me.
Whew. Grant, I wish that I could just say that I was one thing, if I'm being completely honest. So on paper, I am the founding managing director. And so, but I'm also whatever I need to be in the moment to make sure that the job gets done. So sometimes I'm the managing director and I'm looking at budgets, and other times I'm the grant writer writing grants. Sometimes I'm the director directing the shows, auditioning, finding people, finding talent. Sometimes I'm the costume designer along with my producing artistic director, Terrence Pride. Sometimes I'm the lighting designer. And I'm working with the technical director to figure out figure out how we're gonna light a show. So I kind of just jump in wherever work needs to get done. Of course, the goal is that I don't have to wear all these hats because I really find a love and a passion for empowering others. And like I said, bringing out that talent and expertise of my teammates and my colleagues. So the goal is to build a really strong team so that I can, disseminate some of these job duties and whatnot, but still make sure everything gets done to the highest quality and caliber that I would like.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, I know you were such, you had the Adrian Arts, you're doing some work with them, you have Bravo Theater. First of all, explain to us the relationship there, and
Mhm.
then what you've learned from being directly in the theater business, seeing other productions other than your own, and has that given you enlightenment or insight into how you see your brand growing over time?
Yes, definitely. So I am one who is always about continuous improvement. I always have a hunger to learn and grow. Like at this point, I feel like I've met at least 95% of the individuals at the art center because within the 2 minutes, sorry, 2 months that I was there, I would just walk around to people's desks and start striking up conversations. Just wanted to learn what they did, wanted to know, how their roles affected the organization. And so being in that, I was able to finally get into the arts 24/7. So taking those conversations, taking those experiences, I just pretty much made them or applied them to Bravo Theater. So, when I'm talking and I'm seeing how the Art Center is doing fundraising or development, it's giving me ideas of how we should handle our fundraising and development. And of course, I definitely don't want to compare because we are two completely different entities. I would never say that Bravo is like the Adrian Art Center, but the Art Center definitely has a lot of processes and procedures that I think any arts organization could definitely learn from and model after. And I was fortunate enough, and I feel like blessed to meet individuals who had no issues with sharing their thoughts and their opinions when I would come to them and ask them about us. So definitely being at the art center has taught me so much, but not only that, but all of the different theater companies or just production companies that come in and out of there. I'm having conversations with people all the time, just taking little nuggets away from every conversation and just trying to, store them all in my brain. So when I go back to my computer, I'm just typing notes to be like, okay, I'm gonna come back to that another day.
Nice. No, that's how you do it. That's how you continuously grow. I tell you one thing we're going to do right now,
Mhm.
because I saw some information. I saw a little bit of the play. So a little bit about what you're doing. Interesting topic. And I see how it grows discussion. And you bring people to the play with entry, and you create uh, conversations that I think, as especially in certain cultures like our culture, that we need to have that possibly we did not know, right? Talk to me about, first of all, what you're doing from the plays that you've done.
Mhm.
Talk to me about, you talked about racial identity, you talked about biracial identity, you talked about what that looks like behind the scenes and when you're in front of the camera and
Yeah.
doing certain things. Talk to me, first of all, how did you come to this idea that this is the subject that you wanted to bring out? And then let's talk about, some of the reactions you got from that.
Hello, I'm TM Pride, Director of American Sun, presented by Bravo Theater. My approach to this particular story, written by Christopher Damos Brown, stems from the root of the American narrative, which is identity, racial identity, and what the conversation is like when the individual is biracial. And so what are the questions that we have to ask ourselves as an individual, as parents, as a society, when individuals are identified as biracial and they're faced with, this harsh expectation to only identify with one side of themselves, not being able to show up in the fullness of who you are, being both Black and white, and what exactly, that journey looks like.
As Officer Paul Larkins in The American Son, I would have to say that The American Son is me. Big, blue eyes, blonde hair, white, come from a family of government officials. And the only thing that matters is my knowledge and my perception of how I see things and my experiences.
The American son is one who understands and is born understanding the values of tradition, family, and integrity. He understands that respect is not a thing that is given, it is earned, and it is only earned when one has put their best foot forward. The American son understands that he has been given everything he needs to succeed in life and to accomplish his goals. In fact, to succeed in his goals, all an American son needs to do is walk up to life, look it straight in the eye, and give him a firm handshake.
The meaning of the American son is an extension of me, sometimes misunderstood and defined by the world around him. He can be fragile and complicated, but he is also beautiful and resilient. Can't wait to see you at the Little Haiti Cultural Center with our new dates, February 19th and 20th. Please visit BrevoTheater.org for ticket information. See you there.
So there you all have it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go get your tickets now at BravoTheater.org. The show is February 19th and the 20th. On the 19th, it's at 7 p.m. And on the 20th, that Sunday, is at 5 p.m. Followed by, immediately after the show, followed by a talk back with the one and only playwright himself, Christopher Damos Brown, and the rest of the cast. Come join us, join in on the dialogue. Let's have a conversation. Come to the table. We'll see you there.
Yeah. So first off, Bravo Theater, we started during the pandemic, and we started with our virtual content that we entitled Protest Art. And so the protest art stemmed from all of the racial injustice that was going on at the time. And we felt like the news was all painting each of these individuals in a negative light, for whatever reason, whether it was Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, George Floyd. So every single time we heard a new news report on them, we just kept asking ourselves, well, what about their side? Or what would they be saying about this if they were here with us today? And so going back to that whole, the power of storytelling and having that passion for everyone and all human beings, we decided to label it protest art, and we used music, dancing, theater, poetry to essentially interpret what their side would have been, or what they may have said had they been here, or what they were feeling during that situation. So that's where we started at. And then again, there's so much talk around racism during that time that we just started asking ourselves, we talk a lot about race, but is anyone talking about just biracial identity? And so as we're sitting and talking, we're like, we haven't heard a lot of conversations about that. How about we have a conversation about that as well? Let's just throw that in the mix since we're talking about race. And so that's where our first live season of production started, and we entitled it Between Two Worlds. And we produced American Son by Christopher Damos Brown back in February of 2022, and also did a talk back with him entitled Two Shades of Black, an exploration of biracial identity. And then we presented Funny House of a Negro by Adrian Kennedy. Sorry, the incomparable Adrian Kennedy, amazing playwright.
Yeah.
October, and then we did a symposium along with that stemmed from our season header, Between Two Worlds. And so, like I said, those conversations, those two plays came into fruition because we wanted to find plays that would help us drive home this talk of biracial identity.
Well, I tell you, when I first saw that, it brought back for me memories of Spike Lee's production. You know, this was a film and a movie and all thing, but they kind of touched on that whole, I think it's called School Days, right? School Days
Yes, sir.
back at a HBCU, and they were showing this dynamic. And I was like, you know, and for me, I grew up in a family of many different shades of hue, of color, right? You know, my grandmother was very fair skinned. She, you know, if you probably saw her on the street, you probably think she was white. Then I had, you know, uncles and grandfathers, they looked very, very dark, like Richard Roundtree dark, right? So, and then everything in between. So we never really had discernment around that, you know, like light skin, black, that was really not a conversation. But as I grew up and I started to meet other people, and I started to see how they grew up, and it was different because we're not even talking about different shades of Black people, African Americans, but also actual biracial. You know, you had a white mother or a Black father or vice versa. My own children are, you know, Native American and I'm Black, but it's a different cultural experience, you know, depending on what the mixture is. What kind of conversations that you had, like I said, after you've done the play and people were like still, you know, tuned in? What kind of conversations were you having that came back from the audience?
Well, first off, I'll say I'll use the term impactful to start off. It was such a refreshing, I would say, environment in both of our talks that we did, in the talk back with American Son and then the symposium with Funny House of a Negro, where the audience members who came, they were just ready to learn. They were just ready to hear. And I just love that the audience was diverse. It's not like we had all Black people there. We had white people there. We had Hispanic people there. We had Black people there. But we were all in agreement that we were here because we either wanted to learn or we felt like they felt like they could contribute to the conversation, which is exactly what we want. And so I know I'm digressing just a little bit, but that's an emphasis that I like to on us, is that yes, myself and Terrence, Bravo Theater is Black owned, and we do take pride in Black programming, but we don't want to exclude anybody from the community. We love doing colorblind casting with our shows, but we also, when we are doing programming that speaks to the African or the Black perspective, we want to make sure that the other individuals, other races of the community still feel welcomed in space, and either as they want to learn or they feel like they can contribute to the conversation because they're immersed in that culture.
Sure.
So I just want to throw that out there as well, make sure everybody knows. But yes, those conversations, they were so impactful, they were so refreshing, and it was the best part was just hearing different testimonials from people in the audience and on our panels, and hearing their stories and them talking about these real life experiences that they had when it comes to colorism in the Black community. And so, speaking on American Son, one thing that we really wanted to focus on, and that is, of course, if you know no one's familiar with the play, you have, of course, a Black woman, the mother, and you have her husband, who is a white male, and they have a biracial son who they are waiting in the police station to figure out basically what has happened to their son, because he was stopped at a stop sign by a police officer. And so even though it's very easy to put an emphasis on the relationship of the husband and the ex-husband, ex-wife, because they were not married anymore. We really wanted to highlight the son. So because the play was called American Son, we wanted to know the son's perspective and this idea of that he had to essentially wrestle with being either too black over here or not black enough on this side and too white on this side, and why biracial individuals must choose. Why can't they just exist in one space as their whole self, as one being? And it's crazy to me that society puts this amount of pressure on individuals to have to choose when I'm sure you and I both know that as human beings, we wrestle with so much conflict within ourselves, whether it be mental, whether it just be society, and that I feel like that it is not fair to those individuals that we put that type of pressure on them, that they have to choose a space to feel welcomed in. So, yeah, I don't want to get too
Dude, that right there, it's so important. Especially, this is the thing. I want my audience to really step back and think about this. Think of America, our country, as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think of America as a person, what color, race is America? Because she was red for 14,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
You've been, you would say, predominantly white for the last only 200, let's just say 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
She's really black in certain areas. She's
Mm-hmm.
really Hispanic in a whole lot of areas.
Right.
We are a biracial nation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're grappling. You look at this from a microcosmic level as a person, but also at the macrocosmic level. And I think that's something, especially now in our society where we were trying to be ultra polarized, but we need to understand that we're one person.
Mm-hmm.
And this one person has had a heck of a story.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say from 1776 to 2023 so far, understanding identity.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? Because right now we do have a portion of our society that is totally, we have people of color, that's what we call it now. That means you could be black, Hispanic, Asian, and
Right.
all kinds of other. And then you have the other. Who's this other? And it used to be when I was growing up, that was a big population of just white male authority. Let's just call it just like that. Well, that white male authority has dwindled in size to where now this whole other identity is equal to or even greater than from a population standpoint. So you start thinking about feelings and the mental construct that's going on there. Your play becomes very, very relevant. And I love how you said that, for everybody, because especially if you're in America, you're in this family of biracialism. You're part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't divorce yourself from it, and you can't hide from it. We are one family sitting at the table, and we are a melting pot. And I think that's one of maybe the creators' great experiment. We're going to put the whole world at a table, and maybe they'll fight a little bit at first, and they'll argue, but you know what? We're going to have a meal.
Right.
5-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
The 5-Star BDM LinkedIn Social Selling course can help you stand out and attract the right connections and opportunities. We will help you professionally create your profile, provide personalized recommendations for improvement, and help you create and share engaging content to help you showcase your skills and expertise. Our 5-step course makes connecting with industry experts, finding job opportunities, and building meaningful relationships easy. Social selling can be an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Our course will help you solve the problems associated with digital networking. If you need help personalizing your outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. If you need help targeting the right prospects, this course is for you. With so much noise on social media, it can be challenging to cut through the clutter and get your message in front of the right people. Our course will personalize your messaging using our targeting tools and research. You can identify and reach the right prospects. We will also show how to deliver high quality, valuable content that attracts and engages prospects and clients. The 5-Star BDM LinkedIn Social Selling course will address these challenges by implementing best practices. As a result, you can improve your social selling efforts and generate better results. Are you looking to improve your LinkedIn profile and reach a wider audience? Social selling is an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Some common problems we saw with social selling include lack of visibility. If your profile is not optimized or you're not actively participating in groups or sharing content, it can be difficult to get noticed on LinkedIn. Number 2, lack of personalization. Some businesses struggle with personalizing their outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. Also, difficulty targeting the right prospects. It can be difficult to identify and target the right prospects on social media, especially if you don't have access to robust targeting tools. And number 4, outdated content. If your LinkedIn profile or content is not up to date, it can give the impression that you're not actively engaged on the platform or that your skills and experience are not current. And lastly, poor quality content and not leveraging video and picture to convey ideas. To solve these problems, the 5-Star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling video course will help you focus on personalizing your outreach and messaging to better connect with prospects. In module number 1, the foundation, we will help you create high quality, valuable profile that will attract and engage. In module 2, the story, optimizing your LinkedIn profile to make sure it is complete, accurate, and visually appealing. In module number 3, the experience, using your targeting tools and research to identify and reach out to the right prospects. In module number 4, engagement, establishing a consistent follow-up process to nurture leads and build relationships over time. And lastly, in number 5, execution. Understand the metrics to help you measure your brand effectiveness. By addressing these challenges and implementing best practices, you will improve your social selling with the 5-Star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling course. Listen to what others have said about 5-Star BDM.
Grant, I'll tell you why I'm here, right? I'm here because I love your brand. When we started chatting on LinkedIn, we connected. I checked you out and I go, man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
You were definitely instrumental in helping to shape that knowledge of who I am. Because at first I thought, well, I am an actress. I am a writer. I am a producer. I am a speaker. And so I said, well, I must be a creative communicator. I know that there is a narrative thread here, but you nailed it when you said you are a storyteller. So you brought it all together in this cohesive title.
Sign up today to improve your social selling opportunities. What do you think about that?
Listen, I love how you frame that, because that is one thing I think that us as a society need to really get to the point of. And that's why I love the arts so much, because the arts in itself is a how I've learned from mentors and just from colleagues. They've already always framed this picture as a patch quilt. So instead of a melting pot where you're kind of dumping everything and mixing it all together, a patch quilt. And again, I don't want to take the term from anybody. One of my mentors, Mr. Mo Beasley, amazing actor and spoken word artist, told me this when we were talking in one of our mini talks. And he said a patch quilt is pretty much where it allows each of us to take our authentic self and still come together and be sewn together to create this beautiful overall picture. So it's not that you're taking yourself and you're mixing it with somebody else, or you're changing who you are. No, you're taking your patch, which is your identity, and you're just simply accepting the other individual's patch and just saying that, yes, you know, either my brother, my sister, my family member, like you just said, we can come to this table and we can just all be here in one space together, each as our authentic selves.
Yeah.
And it I feel like if we just allow that to happen as a society, if we just truly accept everyone for who they are without judging or what have you, then we wouldn't run into a lot of the issues that we have. And like I said, just bringing back to the biracial, we wouldn't be putting this pressure on these individuals to where they feel like they need to choose just to exist or be their authentic selves. And you really saw that in Funny House of a Negro, because that avant-garde show literally is illustrating the mental turmoil that a Black girl or biracial girl is going through, so much to the point where she feels as though her Black side is evil, and she has created these characters in her mind. She takes on this kind of schizophrenia where she creates these different individuals who she sees as like white figures to essentially help get rid of her Blackness. And you know, if it's okay to spoil the play or what have you, this young girl, she essentially ends up committing suicide at the end by hanging herself, because she essentially determines in her mind that she cannot exist as her full self because she cannot get rid of her Blackness. And the only way that she can essentially ascend to this overall this higher white status is essentially by getting rid of who she is, ultimately killing herself. So yeah, it wasn't a lot of lighthearted plays.
But this is the reality. These are not, what do you call it, Shakespearean endings. It doesn't always end with the beautiful and right off in the sunset and the rainbow. No, this is why we have to talk about these things, because it's important. We as a society need to understand. You can't, she probably was holding on possibly to an old image of the 1950s, of looking at, white people at their, quote unquote, almost height in this country. Everything is just beautiful. And the version of Black people, especially for a long time after slavery, was the Jim Crow image. And if anybody's ever really looked at what a Jim Crow image is, it's not a pleasant something you would look up to type of image, right?
Right.
So how does that change? How do you morph? And then if you're a product, and as our nation is, we are a product of this.
Mhm.
How do we redefine the character?
Mhm.
How do we redefine so we don't end up in a self-destructive
Mhm.
mode?
Mhm.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaw, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaw explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun. I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund. me ask you this. We're getting toward the end,
Okay.
and this has been great. And now I got to go see more of your stuff. So tell us what you got going on. What's going on? What's coming up for you?
Ooh, listen, I feel like there's never not. I know that was a double negative, so forgive me for my bad grammar. There's never something going on. Like, that's how intense I have to say it. If we have our for our 2023 season, we have our Freshly Rooted series that we are just starting, and we entitled it Freshly Rooted because we wanted it to be just that. We wanted it to be rooted in the community, where we are presenting new works by playwrights that have not been presented before, and essentially allowing them to be read in front of an audience so that they can get, live reaction, feedback. And we're also going to be having a session that we entitled Pour It Out, which is another collaborative environment where we'll be essentially having playwrights come in and also give their perspectives on the plays presented. And so we're excited because this first one it's happening at the end of March at the Artsy Gallery, and we're presenting some plays by Michael Oatman, and actually 4 different plays: The Benediction, Not a Uterus in Sight, The Slap, and Far from a Distant Shore. And so I'm excited to see some people's reactions. Just to give you a little taste, one of the plays, The Slap, is a touch on the love triangle between Will Jada and Tupac Shakur. So we're gonna be going into it's gonna be opening our, how should I say, overall theme for 2 of our plays. So because we're really wanting to focus on the Black male community and the how should I say, the mental state of the Black male. So wanting to highlight those ideas of Black males always having that stigma of needing to be strong, that we can't be weak, that we always have to be the provider, protector, that we can't be emotional. So all of the shows that we're going to be presenting will touch a little bit on it. So that'll be Freshly Rooted. Then in June, we're going to be in partnership with Island City Stage. We'll be presenting The Brother's Size, where we'll also go into our talk back, focusing on the Black male community. And then have our summer camp that will be presenting Young, Gifted, and Brave Theater for Youth in partnership with St. Thomas University. That's finally where we'll get lighthearted. It's not not gonna be too intense there.
Yeah.
So that'll be our summer camp, and then we'll be presenting our first musical, Five Guys Named Mo, in November. So it's a lot of different projects going on, and then of course in between there we're all doing some more virtual programming for our online Bravo Black Box as well. So again, just being able to be in a space where we can authentically create without any, how should I say, barriers, because it is our pieces that we're presenting. We're curating the themes and what have you in the season. But I just want to say I feel so grateful and thankful to be in a community that has embraced us and is wanting to help us in any shape and form. So we've developed so many partnerships, so many sponsorships within this 1 year. So I can't say, thank you enough to the community.
Absolutely. Now, so this is all in South Florida. Your plays are all in South Florida?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And is that in North Miami-Dade? Is it all over? Is it in Broward County? Give me some addresses.
Yes. So well, I'll say, long story short, we did have a residency at the Little Haiti Cultural Center in Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
But because of some, how should I say, city issues or building issues, We're no longer there. We could not present programming there, so it was a blessing and a curse where we thought we had space, and then we were forced to go and start doing some more networking. So primarily all of our programming was in Miami, but since that has happened, it had us expand to Broward. So the readings will take place in Miami, but the play in June will be at Wilton Manors. The summer camp will be in Miami, and then most likely our musical will also be in Broward.
Okay. So I live on the county line, so I love that.
Yeah, we're not trying to go too far, just so that people don't get too confused with us. But Grant, I would tell you that going through this, I had in our long-term plan to have a building and a space in 10 years. And I was telling Terrence that we needed to make this happen in less than 5 at this point.
Well, put it out there. We want to know this is good content. I hear so many times people talk about the content that they're getting on regular television and some other things, and that this is good content. This is something that you can really sink your teeth into, no matter your age, no matter your background. Like, all right, let's have a discussion. Then you can get ideas of how we move this forward. We're probably almost coming full circle. When people really getting into plays, you start thinking Broadway. People are going to these because it's intense. And you cannot get the same intensity and passion out of just the difference between reading the book or seeing on television. When you go to a play, and what we described even earlier in our discussion, talking about a dinner play, wow, what a great way to spend a date, isn't it?
Oh yes. Listen, we've already started thinking about 2024. So if all goes well, we'll be ready to produce our first full dinner theater show in 2024. So yes, we're really excited about that.
If you didn't please give us how to contact you, your website, email, that type of thing.
Yes. Please, for all upcoming show information and details, visit Brevo Theater. That's BREVO Theater, THEATRE.org. And we're also excited because we're revamping our website, which should be unveiling in the next couple of weeks. And of course, also follow us on Facebook at Brevo Theater, Instagram, Brevo_theater, and also Twitter. We got some great stuff coming, so we just want to invite everybody along for the ride and enjoy some quality theater.
Well, I will be there. I'll definitely be going there, and I encourage your audience and our entire audience to view all our shows and go to our YouTube channel on Follow the Brand TV series, and then go to my website to see everything we're doing from our podcast perspective, also our live TV show, and that is at 5-Star BDM, and that's B for brand, D for development, Infomasters.com. Zaylin, this has been wonderful. Thanks so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for just providing me this platform for, again, for my voice to be heard, for us to get our content out there. So many thanks, and I'm honored.
Thank you. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. You as well, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you. Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road. providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius.